Okay, so welcome back to another video on this channel. The Champions League final is, kicking off tomorrow at the time of this upload. And as you can see on your screen, I am joined by Pader, who is a Man City fan, as you can see on your screen as well. I am, of course, a Chelsea fan, if some of you just don't know that for some reason. But yeah, the tension's really starting to build now for the Champions League final for both of us. And yeah, City in their first ever one. Chelsea in, I think, our third final now. But overall, Pader, man, what's the mood in the City camp from a fan's perspective, really?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I'm speechless to be honest because it's our first ever European final. We've never been at this stage. Obviously, as you said, Chelsea have been in one. You've won the Champions League back in 2012. I don't know how. Looking back at that Barcelona game where you somehow just did not concede in that second leg, and then the Bayern Munich game, I just don't know how you got through that. But that's what you have to do to win the Champions League, isn't it? You need a
Just a
bit
bit
of
of
luck.
luck.
Yeah,
Just a bit of luck.
yeah, we haven't done that before. Now we found ourselves in the final. I think City. We all know they've probably been the best team in the Champions League this season. No disrespect to Chelsea. Chelsea being also a class, but City have just been. I don't know. There's something about this City team this season. But as Chelsea have proven before, there's something about actually winning the Champions League, and you need that bit of luck on the day. And to be honest, it's anyone's game because both teams are unbelievable at defending and both can attack too. So it's anybody's game.
Now, to be fair, I fully agree because, yeah, City, in my personal opinion, yes, City have probably been the best because I think it's the two best teams that could have got there because both teams have really good defenses and they've shown, especially since Thomas Tuchel's come in, we've been really good defensively with like Rudiger and Christensen, those players who've just come to fruition really. And City, at the same time as well, we know since Diaz has come in, has just been unbelievable defensively. So yeah, it's probably that's why I said what you were saying as well is like it's anyone's game really, and I think it's going to be a really cagey affair to be honest because it's two sides that are just not going to give way, two sides that are just so solid defensively and are
Yeah,
yeah, not going to want to
100%.
concede early on first of all.
Yeah, yeah, I agree because we look at Chelsea at the start of the season. Like Christensen's nowhere near the team, Rudiger's nowhere near the team. Like okay, they're fringe players. Tuchel's come in and they're balling every week, man. There's something about Rudiger. I keep saying it on Twitter. He's gonna be one to wind up our players. He just has that kind of
He's the ultimate
Atletico
shout, I
Madrid
love
thing
it.
about him. Yeah, yeah. We saw it against Atletico Madrid what he done to Stefan Savic. He's a bit like an Atletico Madrid player himself now, to be honest. So
Ah, yeah, but like, what's the overall? Because you probably know a few City fans on Twitter. What's the overall perspective from them? Like, is it nervous, excited, or a bit of both? As I said earlier.
yeah, it's different because obviously we've a new generation of fans. I'd be one of them now from like probably since the takeover. But the older generation, you see, this is obviously going to be our first ever European final. But we're in the 1999 Division Playoff Final. That was it can't be topped for some older City fans. And obviously the Aguero moment against QPR, our first. Well, obviously we won two league titles, but our first Premier League in 44 years that it doesn't get bigger than that. But this is a European final at the end of the day. For me, this I was a bit young. I was probably 9 years old when the Aguero goal went in. I remember it. But like you, when Chelsea won the Champions League, I can't really remember taking in the whole atmosphere and that. I'm 19. This is a European final, our first ever, and I'm buzzing, man. I don't know. It's really going to hit on Saturday, honestly. I've
Yeah, yeah.
since Tuesday, I think we got over the emotions last week of Aguero. It was very emotional his last game, getting the two goals, winning the Premier League was brilliant. And then
Yeah, like we
Tuesday,
said off
that
camera,
just left.
it's starting to get real now. It's starting to get
Oh
real.
man, yeah. When you see the pictures on Twitter of like Porto, like the big Champions League trophy and stuff like that, it's getting real now. Have the Chelsea team landed in Porto?
I'm pretty sure about in the last hour we have, yeah. But like I was gonna say, like City fans, so you're saying are like probably it's hard to actually judge how they're feeling because it's their first ever final. But to be honest, with Chelsea fans, you know yourself on Twitter, they're usually like really neurotic anyway. Like we're always kind of Chelsea fans on Twitter are always really hard to please, to be honest. And so like in fairness, I'm kind of I don't want to say quietly confident because you're obviously not going to be confident playing against this City team who are just so good and easily could just run us off the park on their day. But like at the same time, another point I wanted to bring up as well. Thomas Tuchel's record against Man City since he's come in: 2 games, 2 wins, one in the FA Cup and one in the Premier League, obviously as well. One at the Etihad as well when we were not expected to win. And as I said it in a video as well when we actually beat you at the Etihad in the Premier League. I was saying Pep Guardiola now has 2 or 3 weeks to figure out Thomas Tuchel and this Chelsea system, because he just can't seem to live with it at the moment. So do you think that Pep might be overthinking it a little bit again? Like, obviously, in recent years against Lyon and Spurs and Monaco, you've gone out to, like, no disrespect, but probably weaker opposition, and it's always been because Pep has, like, overthought, the lineups and stuff like that. Do you think it could be a similar case, or do you think he'll just go with the same thing and just trust in his players this time?
Yeah, I agree that Pep has overthought it in the past. It's clear and evident in the Champions League. I just think this season is a lot different to last or the season before, just because of the structure. The 11 picks itself, what our 11 is, our best 11, and I know what our best 11 is. Defensively, we've improved from other years, and there's no one really other than Rodri Fernandinho. There's no other discussion to be made about who goes into the team. The 11 picks itself. In terms of Tuchel getting the 2 over Pep Guardiola, I agree. It would be a factor in psychologically going into this match, I'd say. More the FA Cup, because I think the Premier League game, we had a much changed side. We did have a changed side in the Premier League, but Chelsea did also have a lot of changes in both of them games too. So we can't really judge, I don't think, from them two games.
It was like a Carabao Cup type, that game, wasn't it?
Yeah, tomorrow or Saturday's game will just be a lot different in terms of the lineups and the tactics, and they'll have their strongest team now.
I'm one of the ones that believes in this law of averages, right? So when Chelsea actually won that game, I was thinking it's bad news for the final, because I thought law of averages, Pep will find them out and ultimately will win. But now, given the fact that Chelsea scraped over the line in top 4, obviously the game against Villa was horrendous, we were terrible. But I just feel like that could have been a bit of a wake-up call for us going into this one, which I think is obviously the right thing, and we got really lucky with the fact that Spurs and Gareth Bale just decided to turn up and Leicester bottled it. But to be fair, another factor I was going to bring up as well is obviously the end of season things, because City kind of they already had the league won, so they didn't really matter too much, but they kind of had a few iffy results. You think of the one against Brighton and obviously Chelsea and those kind of games. But would you rather actually really, because obviously City had ended on a high 5-0 against Everton, Aguero brace, winning the league in style and whatever, and Chelsea kind of limped over the line with the games against Arsenal and Villa, as I said. So do you think it actually really plays a difference, or if it does, which scenario would you rather? Because it could be a wake-up call for us, but City have gone in on a high.
I think all that, the pundits will say that's all psychologically going into it. I think, honestly, this is 90 minutes, and it's going to be both nervy at the very start, the first few minutes, taking out whatever's happened in the last few weeks. It's going to be whoever starts off the game. And for me, it simply goes down to this. We know City and Chelsea can both defend, and I think it's whoever gets the first goal is obviously going to be in key position to win the game, because both sides find it hard to break teams down, as we've seen in the past. City may be able to break teams down better than Chelsea. If we look back at your game against Arsenal, the one against Leicester in the FA Cup, you don't have as much ideas as Man City when it comes to breaking teams down. But at the end of the day, all you need to put on is Olivier Giroud in the 90th minute, bang, cross it in.
I fully agree. I think City have a lot, as you said, City have a lot more cutting edge going forward. We just don't seem to know what we're doing half the time when we get the ball.
A bit like United last night in the Europa League, where in the final 100%. Third they just ran out of ideas.
100%. You see the amount of games this season where it's end 0-0. You think Brighton, Leeds. Trying to think who else 0-0. There was Wolves his first game. There was a lot of games where we just failed to break teams down, because if we have an off day, it's pretty easy to beat us. But the thing is, I think we won't this time. But yeah, as you said, I don't think that the whole scenario or the form, I don't think it really matters, because it's two teams that are pretty capable. I wouldn't say level, because I'd say City are probably obviously a better team than Chelsea, but they're probably two teams that are well matched or well contested, so I don't think it actually means too much. I think it's just whoever's better on the night will take it, to be honest. I was just going to say, like you said as well, I think the first goal is going to really, if City score in the first half, it's going to really mess with my head. It's going to really put me on edge. Honestly, we're a team, we've proved this season with Thomas Tuchel, the only game I can actually remember us coming back and actually winning from behind was the one actually we played against G.
I was going to say, I didn't mean to discredit Chelsea in anything I've said so far, by the way, in terms of City. Obviously, we know City have been the best team probably in the world this season. And when we saw the quarter-final draws come out, and you were playing Atletico, and we knew we were going to be in the semi-final, no City fan wanted Real Madrid in the final. No City fan wanted Chelsea in the final. Everyone wanted Real Madrid to beat you in that second leg. Because Chelsea in 90 minutes, I've been saying it to everyone, and everyone's been saying to me at the place I work, it's just 90 minutes and Chelsea wants to go 1-0 up it's very hard to come back because any game I'd say this is probably a stat under Tuchel. Any game that you've went up in, you've probably won, and any game you've gone down in, you've probably lost. But you do have terrific players. Like, I mean, a bit of quality in the final third. Mason Mount's been unbelievable this season, and Werner. This is the thing we saw in the FA Cup. City are going to have a lot of the ball in the final third, and all you need is one counter attack, Werner's pace, and whoever's there. We saw Ziyech put it away in the FA Cup, so you never know.
The thing is, I was thinking about during the week is it's going to be an unbelievable tactical battle. Like, it's literally going to be who can hold their nerve for the most, because it's two teams that, like, whenever they've played this season have just been so, and even still, like, Chelsea's record since Tuchel's come in big games has been unbelievable just because of Tuchel's game management and the tactical side to it. Because I to be honest, I don't know about you, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I can't see a lot of goals in this final. I really can't.
No.
I think it'll be a really cagey affair. Wouldn't be surprised if it ended 0-0.
I could see City, if they were ruthless, and I'm not discrediting Chelsea at all, but City could put a few past Chelsea if you have a bad start. But I can't see Chelsea putting a few past City, if you get me. I don't think that's going to happen at all. I think everyone's expecting a very close game. It could even go to extra time, potentially penalties, hopefully not, because sudden death will literally happen to me. Like, sudden death is literal there.
Actually, a bit of a random question. If there's going to be one player to win it for City in 90 minutes, who's it going to be?
I think it's just going to be someone fucking random. I think it's just going to be like Bernardo Silva or someone.
It's actually so weird you say that, because I literally had the exact same feeling. I said that to Jacob earlier on in the week. I said, for some reason, I feel like if we're going to score a winner, it's going to be a defender like Rudiger or someone like that.
I don't know, but if Rudiger scored, I'd kind of be like, yeah, well, he's scored in the Leicester game. I don't think that'd be that random, to be honest. I think if like
Kovacic or Azpilicueta or someone.
Oh Jesus! If Kovacic scores, like, that's what you call random.
To wrap it up, right? Honest prediction. I want none of this heart. I want just your head. Honest prediction. What is happening on Saturday night?
I obviously have to back my team, and you're gonna have to back yours. We can't say our teams are losing the Champions League final. Like, I think. Let me think now. I actually haven't thought this one. I'd nearly go as far as saying if you score first, and if you score first and it's in the second half, we're in trouble. But if you score first early, okay, there's always that chance. Football's a funny game. Anything can happen. Someone can make a mistake. Someone can slip. A header can go in. Own goal, whatever. VAR decision.
First goal is going to be crucial regardless anyway.
Yeah, it will be. In a game like this where both sides can defend brilliantly, I'm going to back us. I think it's going to be 0-0 at half-time. We'll score in like the 70th minute and it'll just finish 1-0 to City.
Right, I've thought mine through, right? And I think I said it earlier on during the week. I think it's going to end 0-0. I think it's going to be like a really cagey affair, like a really tactical battle, and nobody's going to be able to outwit the other one. And then for some reason, I just see us poxing a goal in extra time and winning 1-0. I don't know why, but that's just, and that's what I said as well. I feel like it's going to be Christensen or Azpilicueta or Kovacic or someone random who never scores that's going to pop up with a goal.
I could say I'm buzzing, but to be honest, after even having this conversation, it's not helped my nerves at all.
It's all well and good saying you're buzzing until an hour before kickoff. But yeah, anyway, for those of you who don't know, we're actually live streaming this game on my channel, and that'll be starting obviously at like probably 7:30, 7:45 around that. So yeah, it should be decent enough. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like as per usual. And also if you could subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. We are looking to hit 1.7k subscribers on this channel as soon as we possibly can. So yeah, that'd be massively appreciated. And any last words?
Come on, City!
Come on, Chelsea! Come on, Chelsea! Well, yeah, see ya.